Oh, I'm so fucking sick. Last night, me and a friend of mine, we got together and we swapped wives. Yeah, his wife has a nice set of tits, a nice ass. And I told him, man, we've been through a lot together. Me and you have done a lot, seen a lot of things, seen a lot of fucked up shit. I said, buddy, let's get together and let's do some wife swapping. Let's do some wife swapping. Anybody who's a friend of mine, you know, you can't trust me with your wife. Smell my farts. I'm letting stinky farts from all those baked beans. Oh, I've got gas too. I just let a nice long fart. You wanna smell it?
Smell my ass. Smell my farts.
Smells like fresh shit. Doctor! Oh God, please answer me. Listen, I know it's 3 a.m., but I really need a house call. I've got terrible pains in my mouth and stomach, even in my asshole. Please come over and examine me. I'll be waiting. 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 Oh, hey Doc, thank God you showed up. Listen, man, I made some chocolate chip cookies if you want some. Come on in. Get over there. I don't give a goddamn about those cookies. I don't give a rat's ass about those cookies. It's time, Bob. It's time to take your medicine. Let's take your fucking vitals, Bob. Move your hand so I can listen to your heart. Stupid prick. Alright, Bob. I'm gonna take your fucking blood pressure, man. Give me your arm. Give me your... Let's get you wrapped up here and I'll take your blood pressure, you little prick. Alright. Gonna have to test you for all kinds of diseases, Bob. Your blood pressure's way too high. It's way too fucking high, Bob. Alright, Bob, carefully tell me, when did the pain start? Me and a good friend of mine last night, we did some wife swapping. I said, man, let's do some wife swapping. And anyway, her ass looked so delicious, I licked some whipped cream off of it. I mean, hell, doctor, it looked like she hadn't wiped her ass in 2 fucking weeks. Jesus Christ, Bob, you could have all kinds of fucking diseases. Listen, man, I'm gonna do some blood work on you. We gotta test you for every STD in the book. Alright, Bob, do you want the blood to come out of your arm or out of your ass? Just take the blood out of my arm, please. Don't take the blood out of my ass because I'm really sore. I'm taking the blood out of your ass, Bob. You don't tell me where to take the blood from. There, we're all done. All better, Bob. I'll have the results soon. Do you think I'll be alright, Doc? Do you think I'll make it? You're gonna be just fucking fine, you little prick. And when we're all done here... I'm hungry. I'm hungry and sick. Hi, honey. Hi, honey. Hi. Hello, my friends. It's me again, Eric, here at Mountaintop 9. And tonight, I want to talk about the 1992 horror film, Dr. Giggles. It was directed by Manny Coto, and the lead actor was a guy by the name of Larry Drake. Now, he's known amongst horror and genre fans for stuff like Dark Night of the Scarecrow. He was in a couple of the Darkman movies. And For me personally, he'll always be best remembered for that evil, maniacal Santa Claus that he played in the Tales from the Crypt episode and All Through the House. In addition to that, he was in a Tales from the Crypt episode a year later called The Secret. But one of his most famous roles was as the malevolent, psychopathic doctor in Dr. Giggles. When this one came out, I was 9 years old, and at that time, I was so into movies. I've always been such a huge movie fan, not just horror films, but other types, thrillers, suspense, action films. I really like dark comedies. At that time, when I was 9, I actually wanted to be a movie critic when I grew up. That was my whole goal back then. I loved watching any movie I could get my hands on, especially R-rated movies, because when you're 8 and 9 years old, some of your parental figures are prone to tell you, no, you can't watch that. You don't need to be watching that. It's inappropriate. So that just made me want to watch certain things even more. This movie came out in October of 1992, and at that time, I had a scrapbook in which I would go through the newspaper, okay? And we'd get a newspaper on the doorstep every goddamn day. Now, I would always pull out the arts section of the newspaper, and the whole reason because it would have movie reviews for the week, and it would also have movie ads with, the times showing, and it would have the poster art and all that stuff. I liked to cut out movie ads of movies that looked interesting to me. Stuff that I wanted to see or that just really, kind of got me thinking, and stuff that looked really cool. I would cut those ads out and I would paste them in a scrapbook and I would collect them. And Dr. Giggles was one of those movies. Hey, as soon as I saw that fucking ad in the newspaper, I cut it out with my pair of scissors, I got some paste, and I put it right there in the scrapbook. And the thing that got me about Dr. Giggles was that artwork is very menacing looking. Just the idea of a doctor, someone who's supposed to heal and help someone who's sick. The fact that they would make a house call to an ailing patient and come in and slit their throat or suffocate them or kill them in some hideous manner, that really got my imagination reeling. So this movie, Dr. Giggles, I was like, man, that's a scary concept. A doctor who kills his patients. Now, of course, when I finally did see the movie, I realized that this movie went in a completely different direction. This movie isn't about heart-stopping horror, as it were. This movie is about cartoonishness, and it's got a humorous bent to it, and it's very over the top. So I was kind of off base. The ad really misled me because I thought it was going to be a really scary movie, and it turned out not to be. It's still a fun movie for what it is, but I'd like to show you a couple things. Here is the North American VHS release, and there it is, that classic artwork. It kind of reminds me of the film Blood Diner. Now, I'm not a fan of the film Blood Diner. I think the jokes just don't work with me. I know a lot of people love that movie, but for me, the jokes fall flat, and I just think it's a dumb fucking movie. I don't like Blood Diner at all. But what I always liked about Blood Diner was the cover art. First they greet you and then they eat you. When I was a kid and I saw that on the shelf at Hollywood Video, I thought that was scary as fuck. Just that concept of stopping at a diner, a roadside diner in the middle of the night, and then you get fucking cannibalized by the owners. That thought is terrifying. But of course that movie's a total fucking joke fest. Well, the reason I bring up Blood Diner, obviously, Dr. Giggles, very much the same way. This looks kind of scary and ominous, but the movie takes a much different approach than what the cover art would imply. This one's in really nice shape. I like this tape and case because it, looks like it was barely ever fucked with. It's not all messed up. So that's the VHS release from Universal. Now, around the same time that the movie came out, all right, in theaters, Dark Horse Comics released a tie-in comic book, and there were a couple of these. This is volume 1 of 2, okay? And there's the cover right there. This is a pretty cool little comic. I mean, it's not much as far as prose is concerned, as far as words, I'm a big fan of EC Comics, and those are very wordy. There's a lot of storyline. Well, this is very much in the vein of a lot of contemporary comic books. It's just big on the artwork and not so much on the storyline or anything like that. But it's got some cool artwork in it. There's the cover right there. And then on the back, it's got a bigger picture of the poster art. So that's pretty cool. And here is the DVD release put out by Warner Brothers in 2007 as part of the Twisted Terror collection. Another interesting thing I want to point out about Dr. Giggles. Another movie, another very famous horror film came out at roughly the same time. It came out during the same month and same year as Dr. Giggles. And you know what movie that was? Candyman. And of course, Candyman is really, it is a much better film than Dr. Giggles, so it deserves all the accolades that it's received. But because it came out during the same month in October of 1992, it really overshadowed Dr. Giggles. Dr. Giggles got very bad reviews. No one really had anything positive to say about it. So it just kind of got left in the scrap heap, as it were, and Candyman was the film in October of '92 that soaked up all of the attention and got a lot of praise from people. I remember someone that was older than me, a friend of my dad's, had went to see both films, and I hadn't seen either one yet. And I asked him, I said, which one was better, Dr. Giggles or Candyman? And he said without hesitation, he said, Candyman's the better movie. So yeah, Candyman really overshadowed this one, and that was kind of an interesting thing, that to have these movies come out at roughly the same time, and they really captivated my imagination seeing them in the newspaper. Another thing I want to point out is that two of the actors in this film are no longer with us. Larry Drake died in 2016. He had a rare form of blood cancer. He was only 67 years old, so he's no longer with us. Also, Glenn Quinn is the actor who plays Max in this film. He's also famous for his role on Roseanne, the television sitcom. He was on that for many years. He also showed up in the late 90s Campfire Tales film, which I really like. He played a couple roles in that one. He died in 2002 of a heroin overdose. So there's a couple of the actors in here are no longer with us. So, now that we've gotten all of this introduction stuff out of the way, how about we dive headlong right into the plot? This twisted slice of medical mayhem begins in high-octane fashion. Dr. Giggles, a super intelligent but ultra delusional madman, is in the midst of making his escape from a high-security mental asylum. And he's not leaving peacefully, motherfuckers. He cuts this poor bastard's chest cavity wide open in a hideous display of medical malpractice. Then he fires up a bone saw and begins to dismember the dead prick. Blood sprays on the doctor's face as he giggles like a fucking lunatic. Just look at him, playing around with those hacked off limbs. But he's not done yet, my friends. He also kills a nurse and some other dumb shithead before making his grand exit. And now that he's free and clear, a goddamn map pops up on the screen, showing us that he is headed straight for the town of Moore High, which is where the local high school just let out for summer break. Yes, indeed, it's that time of year when the air is filled with the smell of shit, piss, and old tampons. And this is when we meet two horny teens named Max and Jen. Max makes it abundantly clear that he wants to have sex with Jen 6 nights a week over summer break. She tries to downplay his lustful proclamations, but the gleam in her eyes tells you that she truly loves him and his goddamn body. Max is the total package. He has a cool car, dashing good looks, and a nice penis. And Jen ain't bad herself, with pouty lips, smooth skin, and a beautiful ass that rips gargantuan farts after eating way too many bean burritos. The stench of her ass is enough to make a grown man cry. This girl is so damn fine that when she shits, homemade chicken gravy falls into the toilet. Anyhow, poor Jen has heart problems, and she's really supposed to avoid strenuous exercise and stressful situations. Unfortunately for her, Dr. Giggles is coming to town, and he's setting up shop at his father's old abandoned house. The deranged doctor is mighty pissed off at this shitty little town for killing his dad in the fucking street, vigilante style. Well, now he's back to exact revenge upon the town of Moor High and establish his own brand of bad medicine. Well, that's the basic storyline. Now let's talk about some of the notable kills in the film. In one cold-blooded sequence, the doctor drugs a woman with a poison pill. Then as she's reeling in anguish, he takes out an otoscope with an extra long metal instrument at the end. The camera looks on unflinchingly as he shoves that thing all the way up her fucking nose. The sound effects of crunching cartilage are fantastic, and the waxy-looking fake head adds to the darkly humorous tone of the film. A hot red-headed chick gets this pointy thermometer thing stuck right in her tongue, and then her boyfriend gets his dick sliced up with a scalpel. Now, neither of these killings are explicitly shown, but they work well within the parameters of the piece. Another cute chick has tubing forced down her throat. It's hooked to some sort of archaic machine, and this thing sucks out her fucking insides, turning the bowl red in no time flat. There is only one scene in this film that I can honestly say is somewhat disturbing, and it's this sequence that shows up about halfway, a little bit more than halfway through the film, where we see a young Dr. Giggles when he's a child. He is stitched inside his dead mother's corpse, and it's this disgusting, waxy, naked body. I mean, you see bush and tits and everything. And it's just really nasty looking, and he cuts his way out from inside her body with a scalpel and pulls himself out. It's like he's being born again or something, and it's bloody and gooey and all that. You know, so I can't show pictures of it or anything because of the nudity of the fake body, but it's a neat little scene, and I always thought that the filmmakers deserved credit for that sequence because it's very imaginative. I think it's kind of original. It was a novel idea, so they definitely deserve credit for that sequence. Dr. Giggles has a super cheesy and overblown orchestral score. It's pure Hollywood through and through. And what else could you expect from a comedically bloated studio offering such as this one? A score that sounds like Mountaintop Motel Massacre would not fit well within the confines of this film. That's not what this movie calls for. It is very much overblown and overwrought, and it just fits the over-the-top nature of this film like a super tight latex glove. So I can't say that the composer was in the wrong or did a bad job. He created some fitting motifs for this film, so the score works for what the movie is. So overall, Dr. Giggles is a real mixed bag and a true reflection of the era in which it was made. I mean, this was 1992. You even have a kid in this film and he's sitting and playing the Nintendo game Dr. Mario. Now that fits in a couple ways. First of all, the movie's Dr. Giggles, so wink wink, he's playing Dr. Mario. But it also warms the heart of anybody who grew up in that era to see someone nowadays. You're watching a movie in 2017 and you see a kid playing a Nintendo game. That brings back great memories right there, so I love that. Also, another thing of interest is that in 1992, slasher films, commercially speaking, were pretty much dead in the water. Now, I wouldn't consider Dr. Giggles a slasher film per se, but it carries over certain tropes still. Even in 92, when slashers were out. You've got the lusty teenagers, you've got some bone saw killing and scalpel, you know, so there's certain elements of the slasher genre that are woven into this one. And the same year, there was a lesser known film called Happy Hell Night. Now in that movie, you also had the arch villain killing people, and after he would kill people, he would toss out a one-liner here or there, in the great tradition of Freddy Krueger from the 80s. So Dr. Giggles and Happy Hell Night, coming out the same year, they both have that in common, where you have the killer slicing people up and then he says something funny at the end. So that was another interesting thing that I noticed about this movie, because I'll tell you what, Dr. Giggles has so many one-liners. I mean, they put Freddy Krueger to fucking shame. They come at you a mile a fucking minute. So that's what I'll always best remember this movie for, Dr. Giggles, is the fact that when I first saw that ad in the newspaper clear back in 1992, I thought that what I was going to be getting was a scary movie, a thrill ride, something really terrifying and eerie. Nope, not at all. You got one-liners, you got cheese, and you got Larry Drake hamming it up big time. And you know what? It's a fun little time waster. I wouldn't go out of my way to find Dr. Giggles if you've never seen it, but if you're in the mood for something amusing, you want to get together with a few friends and laugh your balls off, hey, there are worse ways to spend an evening than watching old Dr. Giggles. So, hell, go ahead and give it a watch. It's a decent little time waster. Now, I thank you guys very much for watching this video. I would very much appreciate it if you click like, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new to this channel. I will be seeing you folks again next time.